I want to answer Brother Gordon's problem of the 12-year-old. What is required to receiving the gospel is knowing that you're guilty. And 12-year-olds can certainly know that they're guilty. My 5-year-old knows when he's guilty. And at the preaching of the gospel and through the book of Acts, every conversion was after the first presentation of the gospel. After the first time. All those that were converted, they were converted right then. Because they knew they were guilty, they heard a message that God would forgive them, and the transaction took place. Now here's another issue, is that the gospel, the message of the gospel, addresses the 12-year-old sinner just as well as it addresses the 72-year-old sinner. Because they both need the same thing. I don't know that there's really that much of a difference between the 12-year-old sinner and the 72-year-old sinner. I know there is. I'm not being oversimplistic and naive. What I'm saying is they both need their conscience cleansed. They both need to be born again. And also, the gospel, the preaching of the gospel in the church applies to young saints and old saints. And this is something that's glorious and proprietary to the gospel, that the same message that feeds and nourishes the patriarch in the faith can do the same to the young. The mind of the child is truly an amazing thing. What the mind of the child can comprehend. In Nehemiah's day, when they were rebuilding the wall, somewhat of a revival, a time of revival, returning to the Lord, and there was days called where all day long they would stand and hear the law read, and it noted that their little ones were with them. Now here's what I suggest. If the law was read from the youngest to the oldest all together, the gospel is a better covenant, and it's a better hope, and so the same message should go today to the young and the old, all together. Now I would just want to quickly, I know there's some here chomping at the bit here. Here's another avenue of discussion, is this, what I call the ways and means of the gospel. And I know that could go a lot of different ways. Here's what I mean by that. Brother Matt mentioned that the gospel is a report. It's a report of what God's already done. The glory of the gospel is that it's finished. It's already done. It's established. It's ready. It's a finished covenant. It's ready. All the provisions are in line. They're all effective. They're all available. When Jesus said, "It is finished," he meant the gospel is finished. The work of Christ in its totality wasn't finished. That was obvious because he went back to heaven, and he now ever lives to make intercession for us. So his work in totality wasn't finished, but the work of the gospel was finished because sin can be cleansed. Your conscience can be made pure. You can be brought before God and made accepted in the beloved. It's done. So the gospel is a report of what's already been done. That's why faith is critical, because it's a report.